In this video, I'm going to cover how to create a SharePoint News Post subscription app. To do this, I'll be leveraging Microsoft PowerApps, as well as a PowerAutomate flow to send emails to subscribers when a news post has been published. The end goal is to embed the Power App button on a SharePoint page as a way to opt in to new site-related news posts. Hey everyone, it's Joe from Filthy Casual Tech, a great place to find tech news, reviews, and tutorials. If you're new here, make sure you click the subscribe button below, and all the links that we reference in this video can be found in the description. And with that said, let's jump into it. All right, to get started, I'm going to go ahead and create a new SharePoint site. Let's say this project is for the marketing department in my company. So I'll create a new marketing site. I'll click on Active Sites. I will click on Create here. I'm just going to create, for the sake of this video, a new team site. And I'm going to label this Marketing. And that looks good. I'll make myself the owner. And I'll hit Save. Then I'll hit Next. And once it's ready, I'll hit Finish. And actually, I'm also going to add Siri, my cat, as a member to the site. All right. Now that that site is created, I'm going to go ahead and click on the link to the site here under URL. There it is. And once it loads, there we go. Now I'm going to create a new list. So to do that, I'll click on this little drop-down arrow here, and then I'll click on List. I'm going to name the list, or I'm going to name this subscription list. And I'll leave it in site navigation for now. It's fine. There we go. All right, so I'll leave the title name in check. And from here, I'm going to add a couple more fields. I'm probably going to add an email field and a subscribe field, which will be a yes/no field. So go ahead and add a single line of text. I'll label email. That'll there. Save. Okay. And then I'm going to add a new yes/no field, and I'm going to call it subscribed. The default value will be no. Make sure that's set to no for this. Hit save. All right. And now that should be good to go. And now from here, what I'm also going to do, I'm going to restrict this list so that if someone stumbles upon it, people who submit an entry here can only see posts they've created. To do this, I need to edit the properties of this list. So I can click on the little cog icon here, and then I can click on List Settings. All right. Actually, from here, I go to Advanced Settings, and then I click on Read Items that were created by the user, and then Create Items and Edit Items that were created by the user. So for non-site owners, they can only see the things they read and create and edit things that they create, that they actually created themselves. All right, so once that's done, scroll down, click OK, and now the permissions are set the way that I want them to. Once again, keep in mind, site owners can still see everything on the site. So just bear in mind. All right, from here, what we're going to do is we're going to create our app. To do this, we need to click in the address bar and go to make.powerapps.com. All right, from here, we're going to want to create a new blank canvas app, and it needs to be in tablet mode. I will name this subscription subscription app, and then hit create. We'll see PowerApps do its thing while it's creating it. And once it's created, then we're going to go ahead and size it and save it. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and size this app. First off, I'm actually going to do that. I go in here, I scroll down a little bit, and I want this to be a custom size, and I'm going to set the width and the height for this. For height, I'm going to set it to, let's see, going to set this to 362 by 154. All right, hit apply. Okay. Then I'll go back to name here. I'm actually going to choose a custom icon for this. You don't have to do this. It's purely optional, but for the sake of this, I'm just going to choose this little icon here. Change color, and then I'll hit save and save again. Awesome. At this point, I'm not going to share this. I will only share it once we get to that point. For now, I'll hit back, and you can see here, I have my blank app. All right, from here, we're going to add a couple of data connections to the app. First off, we're going to add the Microsoft 365 users connection. So we'll click on the data icon here. Choose Microsoft 365 users and connect. Awesome. And now we're going to actually add our SharePoint list. So I'll click on SharePoint. And I'll paste my site here, hit connect. I'm going to choose the subscription list, and then I'll hit connect again. And you'll see this listed in the app. All right. Now I'll go back over to my tree view. And I'm going to do a couple of things. First, I'm going to create an app level variable that's set to run on start. So to do this, I'll click on app, drag this down. And what I'll do is I'll do set our user. All right. Okay. Close that out. Add a semicolon, then I will set one more variable, and I'm going to set this one to var email, and similarly, I'm going to pull in the login user's email address. So I'll just start typing in var email and close this out, and that's it. From here, I need to right-click on app, click on run on start. And now it's going to run this every time the app starts. All right, now I'm going to create a gallery in here. So I will go to Inserts, and then I'll click Gallery, and add a vertical gallery. And for the items, I'm actually going to set this to filter the items based on the subscription list, which is the list that we pulled in from SharePoint right here. And I'm going to filter it based on the current logged in user. So it's going to restrict this list to just the current logged in user. So it'll only show records tied to that user. Okay. So that is set. And then what I'll do is I'll click on this, and I can set the visibility to false. So it will still be there under my tree view. As you can see, it'll just be hidden from view. But for our sake, it needs to remain here because it's still pulling record data in. So, all right, from here, we're going to add a button. So we'll make sure it's on insert. We'll click on button, and we'll add the button here. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to size this up a little bit. Make sure this is semi-centered here. Okay. We added our button. And what we'll do is going to work with the on select. Be on select. So I actually already have a predefined script here, but I'll go through it. This is just an if statement that states that if is blank gallery 1, which is the gallery that we added to our app, dot selected, which by default it's only selecting the one record associated with the app, or if it's blank, then that's fine too. Then what it's going to do is when you click on the button, it's going to patch the subscription list with the var user name and their email address. And when you click it, it'll also mark them as true on that record. And then this update, then I also have an update if here, 2 update ifs. That will, in this case, it'll set them to subscribe to. If not, then it'll set them to false. So it's good there. And then I have one more little snippet here with an if statement in it. And what this one will do is it will change the text on this button itself. So if I scroll down here to text, paste this. This is yet another if statement that if gallery1.selected.subscribed equals true, then the button will say unsubscribe. If gallery1.selected.subscribed equals false, then it will say subscribed. Else, if it's empty, it'll say subscribe. And you can see here that says subscribe because technically the last item here, because it's blank, is empty, so it'll set it to subscribe. So from here, if I actually click play, click subscribe. Now it says unsubscribed. I can actually go up here to the SharePoint list, and I should see my name there along with a subscription entry for subscribed. See? So I can see my name, my email address, and that I'm subscribed. And similarly, if I go back to my app, click unsubscribe, I go back to my list and do a refresh, it should say subscribed equals no. So, but for now, I will subscribe, leave it there, close out. All right. From here, I wanted to add a label. And essentially, it's just going to be like essentially an opt-in text. If the subscribe is set to true, then it'll say click the button below to unsubscribe. If it's set to false, then it'll say click the button below to subscribe. So pretty simple. So what I'll do is I'll copy my code, and I'm going to add a label right here. Some space, and I'm going to paste my code. All right. So if gallery1.selected.subscribe equals true, then click the button below to unsubscribe. If else if it equals false, then click the button below to subscribe. If it's blank, click the button below to subscribe. All right. So hopefully that makes sense. All right. So I'm going to move this down just so it has a little more space, but you get the idea. And I'm just going to center this just because it looks a little cleaner this way. All right, from here, I'm going to click save. Bear in mind that once you do your first save, every 2 minutes or so, it will auto-save for you. It's just a good habit to save frequently. So, all right, so you can see here, everything's matching up. It says unsubscribe here and here. And if I hit Alt and then click on the button, it should update both. Say subscribe, subscribe. It's pretty quick. So, all right, from here, what we're going to do is we're going to publish the app. Yeah, we'll publish it. All right, now we'll share it. From here, I can actually choose who I want to share it to. I'm going to share this with Siri. There's my cat. And I am going to uncheck this option to send an email. I don't want them to get a spam that they've been invited. I could also make them a co-owner if I wanted, but in this case, they're just an average user. They don't need to be able to edit the app, so they do not need to be a co-owner of this app that I created. So I'll click share, and it'll take a second to update permissions. You can see it's successful, so I'll close out. Okay. And then we can see here that there is a web link to the app itself. I'm going to go ahead and copy this. And if I go over to my marketing page and I go home, all right, I can click on edit on the page. And then I can choose a column or something. And then I can click on the plus button, type PowerApps here, and paste the link. I'll just increase the size of this. We publish. Allow. And now you can see I have a nice little subscribe button on my marketing page. See? And it should work exactly the same as it was in the app. So I can click on unsubscribe. I go back to my subscription list here. It says no. Click subscribe. My SharePoint list. It says yes. All right, you can see here I logged in with my Siri cat account. And if I click allow, you can see here that I have the option to subscribe. I can click subscribe, and then I can click on the subscription list. And you'll notice that I can see my entry, the Siri's entry, but I cannot see my main account entry. Once again, this is because at the beginning we actually configured that. So technically, a user could come here and manually unsubscribe through the list if they want. But and you could technically remove this from the navigation if you wanted to remove that. But that's really personal preference. All right, so that shows that it is working for other users that have had both the site shared with them as well as the app. Now we need to work on the PowerAutomate flow to make sure people are emailed once a new subscription has been added to this site, a new news post. All right, once again, we're going to want to create a flow here on flow.microsoft.com. We click on create, and then we want to click on create an automated flow. So we'll click on that. We'll name the flow sub notify. And then we need to choose the flow trigger. And what we want to use for the trigger is when a file is created or modified, properties only. And this is for SharePoint. Yep, it's good. We'll click create. And we need to grab the name of the site. So we'll grab this. All right, we'll enter a custom site. And all right, from here, we want to, all right, from here, as you can see, we already added our site address. Now we want to add our library name. And the library name is called Site Pages. Go to the next step, which will be a condition. What we want is, I'm going to choose promoted state, set to 2. So when you select when you choose a condition of promoted state equals 2, what that means is that a site page has been published. So so anytime a news post specifically has been published, it will send a notification. That's what that stands for. It's specifically to news posts. From here, we need to work on our yes tree. So if a promoted state of a news post is set to 2, then we need to proceed here with the yes column. All right, so we need to do add item, and we need to do get items from a SharePoint list. And what we'll do is we're going to add the marketing site if it's not listed. So we'll enter a custom value, and we'll add the marketing site address. And the list name is subscription list. Then we need to add an apply for each. And from here, we need to choose the SharePoint value. now that that's done, we need to send an email. And I'm going to choose V2. And it will prompt us to connect here, which is fine. And for this, we just do, I'm going to add dynamic content. We'll just do email, and the subject will be set to which is the title. And for the body, I actually have some HTML, and you can put HTML. You can use HTML here. It's probably the easiest thing to do. We can hit save. Just use a flow checker. I'm not seeing any errors. That's a good sign. So should be good. Now it's just a matter of creating a new news post, which we'll do right now. So I'll add a new news article, just keep it blank. All right, so I'll just label this test news post, and I'll add some text content. And I'm going to add an image. I'm just going to choose something random from their galleries here. And these are Creative Commons images, so it's okay to use them. Okay, then we'll hit post. And assuming everything went well, we should receive an email for this. And if you give me just a minute, I will check my email on this account just to confirm that it went through. One more thing I want to note, as when you're filling this out, it may or may not always know which, if you have duplicate fields, for instance, there are multiple titles here, you want to make sure you choose the right title. So under news items, I want to choose a title under when a file is created or modified properties only here. And similarly, we want to make sure that this title is the same. Okay. Then let's save. Then I'll do a test. And I'll rerun my previous submission test. See, it's running. Flow ran successfully. And I should see my post here. Okay. One final thing worth noting, before you enter anything in the body section here, make sure you are in the correct mode. Otherwise, it will not display properly. You have to make sure that you enter the HTML mode here, and there's usually a button to do that. So, yeah, please just do yourself a huge favor and make sure that's selected before you enter anything in. Otherwise, it will not display properly, and I'll show you what that looks like. So this is without using the proper tag to designate that there's HTML, and this is with the right tag. So you can see here, you can see who, the name of the post, who published it, and the time when it was published. You can see the photo that was used in the header, along with any text that was in there, and you have the option to read more, to click through, to follow to the site as such. So just something to keep in mind. Like I said, if you do not do it this way, then it's not going to play nicely. So do yourself a huge favor and do it that way. But anyway, that's it for now. If you know of a better way to do this, by all means, make sure to comment below. Let me know. Let everyone know. If you like this video, please smash the like button and leave a comment as well. Also, if you need business assistance with Power Apps or the Power Platform in general, my contact information is in the description below. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.